The Journey of Kofi, How One Boy's Dream Changed His Village Forever. In a small village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests in West Africa, lived a boy named Kofi. He was only 12, but he had big dreams and an even bigger heart. Kofi loved to learn, and every day he spent hours under a giant baobab tree, reading from a small collection of books he had gathered over the years. His dream was to become a teacher so that he could one day bring knowledge to his village, which had only a few educated people. Kofi's father, Mr. Odame, was a hard-working farmer who tended to the land alongside Kofi's mother and younger sister, Amma. Life was simple and filled with routine, but Kofi yearned for more. Each time he saw the village elder, who was one of the few who could read and write, Kofi imagined a future where every child could learn and grow just like him. One day, Kofi noticed that the village well was drying up. His family, like many others, began walking further each day to collect clean water. As the seasons passed, the situation worsened, and many villagers grew desperate. Children were often too tired from fetching water to attend the small lessons Kofi sometimes held under the baobab tree, sharing what he'd learned with others. Kofi began to realize that knowledge alone couldn't solve his village's problems. They needed access to resources, and they needed a leader who could inspire change. One evening, Kofi sat with his father by the fireside, watching the stars twinkle in the night sky. Kofi asked, "Father, why can't we have a well that never dries up?" Mr. Odame chuckled and replied, "My son, only the rainy season brings us enough water. It's always been this way." But Kofi wasn't satisfied. He had read about other villages that had wells and ways to access water even during dry seasons. He began asking questions, sharing ideas with his father and other villagers, who listened with curiosity but hesitance. Eventually, Kofi's persistent curiosity led him to a town a few miles away, where he met an engineer named Mr. Badu. The engineer was fascinated by Kofi's determination and agreed to teach him the basics of constructing a sustainable well. Kofi returned to his village with hope and a plan, but he knew he'd need the support of his community. At the next village gathering, he shared what he'd learned. Kofi courageously stood up and said, "With a small donation from each family, we could bring an engineer to help us dig a new well that will last, even during the driest seasons. If we work together, we can make this happen." At first, the villagers were hesitant, afraid to risk their meager savings. But Kofi's courage and determination inspired them, and little by little, they agreed to contribute. With the funds collected, Kofi sent word to Mr. Badu, who agreed to come and lead the project. The entire village came together, men, women, and children, each with a role to play. Some dug the earth, others carried stones, and even the elders helped by preparing food for the workers. Days turned into weeks, and the well began to take shape. The village was filled with excitement and pride. They were building something that would change their lives and the lives of generations to come. But as the project neared completion, there was a challenge. They encountered a layer of rock that was difficult to break through, and Mr. Badu warned that they might need additional funds for special tools. The villagers were discouraged, worried that all their hard work would be for nothing. But Kofi, undeterred, spoke up and said, "We have come too far to give up now. If we each give just a little more, we can make this dream a reality." His words ignited a spark in the villagers, and they managed to gather the remaining funds. Mr. Badu procured the necessary tools, and within a few more days, they struck water. The day water flowed from the new well, the village erupted in celebration. Children danced around the well, and elders wept with joy. Families filled their containers with fresh, clean water without fear of it drying up. Kofi was the hero of the village, but he remained humble, grateful for the support and unity that had made it all possible. That evening, under the stars, the village gathered at the village square where the elder addressed the crowd and said, "Today, we have learned that with unity, vision, and persistence, we can overcome even the greatest challenges. Kofi has shown us that change is possible, and that each of us has a role in making it happen." With the village now having a reliable water source, Kofi's dream of education flourished. Children no longer had to walk miles for water and had more time to learn. Kofi began teaching under the baobab tree every day, sharing everything he had learned. Over the years, he expanded his classroom, and soon, volunteers from neighboring towns came to support him. Eventually, Kofi's efforts led to the creation of a small school where children from villages far and wide could come to learn. Kofi's story spread, inspiring other communities to work together to solve their own challenges. As he grew older, he became a respected teacher and community leader, admired not just for his knowledge, but for his unwavering spirit. Kofi's journey teaches us that determination, teamwork, and a desire to help others can create lasting change. In today's society, the lesson is clear: each of us has the power to make a difference, no matter how young or seemingly small. With unity, vision, and dedication, any community can achieve greatness together. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.